incest, wigs, and family fortune. Insert joke about current president here. Jamie?
Yes.
Let's go watch Flowers in the Attic.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Good Times, Great Movies. It is here where we discuss a movie from the 80s, and we go on a wild ride with it. We do this for your entertainment and for our own. It is myself, Jamie Lorello, and as always with me is a DP McCambridge.
Mm-hmm. I'm just getting in a pretty warm bath right now, if that's cool while we do this. If I just bathe and maybe have somebody wash my back, perhaps my sibling.
I think a sibling of yours should come by and just wipe down your back for you. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'll pull my knees up to my chest. It's not creepy at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. I think it's great.
I did not think this soon after Star 80 we would watch something kind of gross in the same way.
It had some similar, when the mom, I didn't know what was going to happen when the mom went in to the dad and had to get whipped.
Oh,
I wasn't sure what we were starting on there. Nope. I was thankful. Believe it or not, I was thankful it was just a whipping.
Oh, okay. Me too. Me too. Especially when the grandmother was like, hey, take off your shirt, show these kids what this is all about. I was like, oh my God, what is already? Already we're into this. Yeah. I was like, I had a feeling it would get creepy later, but not 20 minutes in.
That's what we got to do. That's how we earn our keep here.
But here's a fun thing. First of all, we're talking about Flowers in the Attic from 1987.
Yes.
This was remade recently too, 2014 with Heather Graham.
Oh,
playing the mom. I'm kind of interested. It got better reviews than this did.
Really? With Heather Graham as the mom?
Yeah.
I could see her playing because the mom becomes this so despondent. What was she? I feel like that mom was in like.
Oh, first of all, that mom showed up for auditions for She's Out of Control. She lost to that one. She probably showed up for auditions of The Whale Scientist. She probably showed up to auditions for Seventh Heaven. Because halfway through, I was like, that's not that woman? Or it is. It isn't, but I thought it was on and off throughout this movie. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, a fun fact about this. Wes Craven, director of Nightmare on Elm Street, was originally supposed to direct this movie, and apparently what he was going to do was a little too freaky for the producers. Ooh. And his handling of the incest was too much for them, and they fired him, and I totally want to see that movie.
Now I'm curious.
If you're going to do this, do it. Like, just make this horrific and disturbing, because as I was watching this, I was like, is this rated PG or R? I wasn't sure.
What was it? Was it PG?
I don't know. I didn't really look, but there was nothing terrible, but the themes were awful.
Yeah, I agree. There was no swearing, not that I remember.
Oh, I don't know. They weren't allowed to yell.
And there was no. Although I do like when she slaps the mom and the mom slaps her in that whole slap fight. And then finally when they get the grandma.
So many slap fights. When she picks that little girl up by her hair, I was like, this is pretty great.
By her hair? Was it her ears? Like, she just lifts her.
Just like the sides of her head. And the kid bit her ankles. It was a whole thing. And it was early on. I was like, I am in for a wild ride in this movie. Yeah. And then they get into the attic and it just stops dead. And I was like, what are we doing here?
And then nothing is besides the attic being dusty and dingy. I thought they were going to uncover some secrets in the attic.
Something, anything other than this is where we live now. Let's kind of make the best of it. Anyway, it is directed by Jeffrey Bloom. He directed a bunch of TV movies before and after This was his one foray into feature filmmaking.
Oh, this was his one feature film.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, whatever. I don't know. This, and as we had said earlier last week when we were talking about it, this was a big hit book. And this is National Reading Month. That's why we're talking about it.
That's why it's made this list, yeah.
And, some, I don't know if it was middle school or high school. I do remember a lot of people reading this book, and it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Even though it was written in 1979, so it would have been a little bit later that people were reading this.
Yeah, but it was still, I think it was part of the culture, I guess you could say.
The
incestual culture
of
yeah.
where I grew up.
Yeah.
You know what? Makes sense.
Revere.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were a lot of pickup trucks in that high school parking lot.
Yep. And all the little ladies were reading Flowers in the Attic.
Yes. So this movie begins and ends with a voiceover by an older woman who does not sound like Christy Swanson at all.
No.
And that's why throughout this movie, I was like, when does this take place? What the woman talking sounds like she's about 80, and Christy Swanson's a teenager.
Right.
But we don't get any clues as to what year this is, right?
Time period, no.
They're on a train at one point. We see an older car that might be from the 50s.
There's no indication of the decade or the time period, no.
I want them to go to school just so I can see what other kids were wearing.
Yeah,
Are these the outfits of the time? Do all 4-year-olds dress in suits and ties everywhere they go? So it's a voiceover, and it just shows this old, palatial Gothic mansion. It's like, I remember grandmother's house, and grandmother's rules were the rules that we followed, and it was horrific, and it was horrible, and suddenly we see a little boy with a perm, and we can't turn away from the screen then.
He does have some bounce. He's got some beautiful, beautiful curls. They're all so blonde. So blonde.
They're so blonde. And these parents, what's the deal with these parents where they're like, yeah, we have these kids that are 18, 19 years old. Then you know what we decided to do? Take a huge break from kids for about 12 years and then have 2 more.
The other 2 are twins. So I'm going to assume.
They? Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
Because they refer to them as, did you get the twins? Where's the twins? The twins are sick.
So that's a double accident is what you're saying?
I'm saying that's how that went down. Yeah, we were fine with old Chris and Kathy. And then all of a sudden, one night, somebody got a little handsy.
Do you think that's what possibly threw the mother over the edge? Because I love the fact that we get... There's not much to the beginning of this movie, but we don't get any clue that this mother is unhinged, and it's 0 to 100 when we show up at this house.
Yeah. Well, because in the beginning they have this really, even their little perfect life is almost too creepy. The way the kids are so excited, like you said, they're teenage kids, 17 and at least
way too old,
15 and 17, but they are hiding behind the couch before the dad comes home, and
that is crazy.
So excited for his birthday party, and they just have this loving, crazy, connected family.
Because in her voiceover, she's like, I remember when father would come home from work, and every day we'd greet him this way. I was like, every day you losers hid behind a couch and jumped out.
And he never caught on? Was your dad a little slow? Because he never caught on that y'all were hiding behind the couch?
I think they're all a little slow. I think that's the thing. It's this crazy inbreeding. They're all a bunch of ding-dongs. And this is what happens.
And this is what happens when dings get donged.
But apparently he used to go out of town. That's the big thing was, he used to go out of town for long periods of time.
Right.
And I got a very creepy vibe.
When he presented the gift to his daughter? Oh. Yes!
Because old Christy Swanson is like, I was Daddy's favorite.
And he always let me know.
He let me know. And he creeps into her room and he's like, listen, I didn't buy anything for your siblings on this business trip. I only got you something. And Christy Swanson, half the time, during this scene, she does look a little scared, almost like she's like buttoning up her robe.
Yeah.
And the other time she's just like, oh, Daddy, this is the best ever. And the mom is creepily watching from like a crack in the door.
It's a very weird exchange. And then the mom, so he gives her this gift, this little porcelain musical dancer, and a ring.
Oh, yeah, the promise ring, like the promise me you won't have sex with anyone but your uncle, Daddy.
Yeah. But then there's a weird cut where the mom is in front of a mirror and she's staring at the picture of the husband and maybe she knows. Maybe that's what's like uncovered in the book, is that she knows this cycle of incest is going to keep repeating. So
it's
that's
gotta be
part of the whole, why she's got to try to kill them later.
Well, listen, she's in it for the money. That's why
they make that very clear.
The turn from being like a weird incestuous monster to being like, no, kids, listen, I am in this for the cash. It's called a long con. This dude is dying. Just relax.
We're going to get... Did you see all those clothes in my closet? Do you see this big giant bed I get to sleep on by myself? It's amazing, kids.
I got whipped once and they took me back.
Yeah.
It's great. This is way easier than I thought it was going to be.
You guys have a nice big tub to soak in and a whole attic to hang out in. Quit your bitching.
Yeah, your bathroom is as big as the bedroom. It's pretty good.
You have a fireplace in your bedroom. It's a pretty sweet dig. Sure, there's bars on the wall and you can't go outside on what seems to be acres of land that your grandmother owns.
You get an entire day's worth of food brought to you in the morning.
Yeah.
You can just eat it whenever you want. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, poison cookies, juice, milk.
Yeah, carafes of juice and milk.
Brought to you by, what was that guy's name, Jeffrey or something? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I like it when the dying, what do you call him, perm baby is like, hi, Jeffrey, when he's like carrying him out.
It's so sad, but also the worst acting, so it was kind of funny, too.
Oh, even Christy Swanson, it was all...
None of these kids should have done anything after this movie.
No, just stop.
Yeah. Somebody should have just walked on set and been like, no, this is it for everyone. Everyone that's here, this is the last thing you're going to do.
I want you all to know that, right?
We've been watching the dailies. This is a disaster.
And guys, it's not a stage show, okay? It's filmed, and so you don't have to shout your lines.
Stop
like you're
yelling all the time. The grandmother said don't yell. Why do you have a shouting match in the attic? Also, you have to stay hidden from a bedridden elderly man, but there's only one room. There must be wings of this mansion they can stay in.
And he is. I didn't take that in. He's bedridden.
So before we get to everything we just talked about, it is the father's birthday, and Christy Swanson is in a tizzy over what to do with these candles. I love
she's trying to count the legs.
All I can do is like 5 rows of 3 or 3 rows of 5. I guess I could put 8 in a row or a crescent moon shape.
I didn't look that old, but I guess, like you said, if he's the uncle and everything, maybe the dad was much older. He didn't look
it was 36. He was 36.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You did do the math. Okay.
I can do that. I can do that math. I know I said 3 rows of 5, which is not 36, but I did the Christy Swanson math, and I figured it out.
Okay. Well, on his birthday.
Is it bad that when they were all hiding behind the couch and the cops showed up, I laughed?
You did.
It was such like a... This is we've come across movies like this on the podcast, not many, but this is a Lifetime movie. Like now, this would be on Lifetime, and I want to say that the 2014 remake was probably a Lifetime movie. That's what this is. It's cheesy as anything, but you used to have to go to the theater to see movies like this.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And now, so the father's dead somehow. They don't really talk about what happened. Say.
Yeah, which I that was something else I wish. But the cops come and we know. And Christy Swanson's just watching the faces, and she does this I think 2 or 3 other times in the movie where she just screams like this terrible, like, blood-curdling...
Yeah.
And holds her hair. And...
Later when she screams no after her her dancing.
Oh, like, yeah, the slow motion no.
The slow motion no is great.
Yeah.
And this is also, folks, listen, if you're the sole provider for your family, this is why, public service announcement, this is why you need to get life insurance.
Yeah.
Like, this family falls on hard times.
Well, and this is where you see the mom has no coping skills, because she just, it says mom was so sad that she couldn't do anything, and eventually they lost their house because she didn't try, she was just wrapped up in sadness.
I like how they're just standing in an empty house, and the Christy Swanson voiceover is like, and we had to sell all our belongings just to pay the bills.
Like, geez, how many bills? Dad have a gambling problem too, as well as the incense?
Because it all appears to happen in 3 days too. Like,
yeah, it's rather quick.
Nobody ages in this movie. I don't know how much time passes at that house at all.
Oh, we definitely go through seasons at that house that they're stuck at. Yeah. Yes. Well, because remember, that's why she takes down the flowers up in the attic. It's winter now. And I don't remember when Dad's birthday is, but they do say it's April 23rd, I think, on the wedding day at the end.
Oh, yeah. We just, when they go into the evidence room, they're just like, look at this wedding invitation.
Oh, yeah, when they find all of the things necessary.
Oh, look, right next to this wedding invitation is the will.
They just happen to leave his will right here. Look at that. We've got all the information right here in this little foyer area. Didn't have to look through a drawer of a desk or anything for it.
I have things to say about the ending of this movie, but we'll get there at the end.
Well, yeah, because we're just at the beginning.
Because this was a ending that was shot a lot later, because the first one did not test well. And Nurse Ratched was like, I'm not coming back. So they're like, I guess you were knocked out or killed by a giant peppermill upstairs.
A giant.
So the mom's like, okay, kids, here's the deal. We're going to go back and we're going to see my parents. Right. Oh, those grandparents that I've never told you about, but possibly you assumed that you had grandparents, but I guess never asked me about. We never talked about this, but we're going to go back. It's going to be great. Oh, they live in a huge mansion, and, I'm sure everything will be fine.
Well, she does say to them, doesn't she say something like, I did something that made my mother very angry, but I could possibly have a lot of money if I just make up with them. So, and if we can get all that money, we'll all be so happy. So we're just going to go for it, guys, okay? We're just going to try.
My dad may have been super old. I have a feeling he's close to dying. My mom, who cares? If I can win over my dad, this is going to be great.
It's going to be more money than y'all can imagine.
So how about when they go on this train to wherever they're going, or a bus, or I don't know what they're on.
They're in a car for a little while, then they take a train, then they're in the bus when the two of them when the Chris and what are their names?
Christy Swanson teenagers. And her older
Chris is
brother.
His name. Chris and Kathy.
Yeah.
They're on the bus when she goes, I wish we would have had a dog, and he's like, what? She's like, because the dog would have died, and then we would have known about death.
This kid goes from a dimwit, Flash Gordon type to suddenly the most intellectual human being on
yeah, he's
Earth.
Going to study to be a doctor. Yeah.
It's so great. She's like, I wish they had bought some pets. Duh, why would they have done that? She's like, because they teach us about death, you idiots. And if we had some dogs that died, maybe this whole dad thing wouldn't be so terrible.
Right. We'd know what death is.
And she also refers to her dad as being handsome. That's kind of gross.
Well, they did things together, I do believe. She's got his promise ring. She's the most hurt that he's gone.
How about when they get off of this bus and they're just standing by the side of the road, and the oldest son's like, why didn't Grandma send a car for us? And so they just start walking.
Yeah,
and
they just
walk.
walk.
It's the middle of the night, and they're still walking in the morning.
And they arrive in the morning, yeah. I don't know where or how. I guess it's a lot of land.
I love it because I love how the youngest girl, who has very little life experience, goes, I hate walking at night. It makes me so tired.
Yeah. And I think they carry her to help her
They
out,
do,
right?
yep.
Yeah. I don't know who that guy is. I thought it was the granddad because there's some creepy man that watches them.
Can we please just call him Fidel Castro? That's how I referred to him in my notes. Okay. He's got a big beard and one of those Castro caps on.
So he is. All right. So Fidel, who now I thought casting wise, he resembles somewhat of, now the grandfather's old and we only see him a few times in bed, but I thought, is that the real uncle who she had? But I guess I didn't believe that the father was really the uncle. I guess is what I'm saying.
I didn't either, unless it was a situation like these people where it was like, whoops, we accidentally had a tiny baby when we were in our 50s, so suddenly this is the sexy uncle that you might marry at some point. I thought you were going to say that you thought this guy was the grandfather, that he was like putting on a fake beard to creep around and then would pretend he was in bed later.
I did at first too for a couple of scenes because he's back later when they try to sneak out with the rope and he kind of gets them. I was like, is this the grandpa just playing possum sometimes?
Oh, I would like that.
I know, but then we see the grandpa later when he tries to chokehold them. When they get really close up to his face, which I don't understand why they get that close to him.
So they show up at this big, like this enormous estate. And this is finally where I wrote their names down. And I hate these people. Christopher, Kathy, Corey, and Carrie. And I'm like, oh, this is awful. I hate people that do this.
Yeah. And the mom's name is, what's
Carrie?
The mom's name?
No.
There's a C too. No, Carrie's the little one.
Corinne?
Corinne. It's Corinne.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's awful. It's dumb. And like you said, they just look like these little blonde clones anyway.
Yeah.
So we meet the grandmother. She's a horrible person. We meet John the butler. He seems like a horrible person.
He's very unhappy. He looks very unfriendly and yeah.
What's with Christy Swanson's like goofy sun hat that she's wearing in this?
She's traveling. I want to say maybe the dad got that for her in one of his trips.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. The grandma lays down the rules for them pretty quickly. They have to obey her. They shouldn't be shouting. They shouldn't be heard. They shouldn't necessarily leave the room and be seen. And lets the kids know basically that that's where the kids find out for the first time that we don't know about you, we don't want to know about you, you will be fed and you will be housed, but you will not be loved, you will not be treated nicely.
Oh, P.S. We also don't love you. I got to throw that in. It's important.
You should know that. Even your little people should know. The love isn't coming from me.
One of the most important things, and I was like, why is this a rule? Because this is when I didn't know they were all going to be in the same room. When she goes, boys in one bed, girls in another. And I was like, oh, all right. So they all have to share, the boys are in a room. And nope, they're all in the same room, which is 2 beds.
Which is 2 sleigh beds is what they are, right? That's the style.
That's the technical term, yes. So we find out that the mom is just dumping these kids because she's saying like tearful goodbyes to these kids and they don't get it. They're like, yeah, I guess we'll see you around dinner time or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, I love you kids so much. You're the best. I have to go now. And then we hear like the door lock and and she leaves her children. That perm baby's wearing a suit and tie. And the son, like he's wearing a sport coat too, with the sun hat. Like again, I don't know. This could be the 20s. This could be the 50s. This could be the 70s. Don't know.
Question mark. I think it is a little bit maybe 60s, 70s, just from some of the later outfits like that. But
also then who's doing this voiceover? Is the year 2030? She's I remember.
Yeah, that's true because she's so much older. I don't know.
I'll get more information because the grandmother does come back the next morning to feed the kids.
Oh, with the breakfast. That's
and
right.
These kids eat cookies with powdered sugar. Whatever. I don't know if they're cookies, but whatever. Something with powdered sugar. Something that looks delicious, by the way. Orange juice, milk, and then whatever's under a covered dish. We never really see it. I was so interested in seeing
I know. I'm like, is it spaghetti? Is it a big thing of spaghetti for them? What is it?
It's 6 a.m. Time for your spaghetti, kids. So the mother comes in, or the grandmother comes in. She's like, hey, guess what, dipshits? Your mom married her uncle, and you guys are like devil spawn babies.
Yeah, she says all this while she's clutching a Bible.
She walks around with that Bible all the time. And I love how she opens up the Bible sometimes just to bring out things that are not related to religion at all. Like, here's the house rules. I just keep them in my Bible here. Also, this person called for you earlier. I take notes in this thing as well. It's pretty great. And she also tells him that the grandfather, her husband, does not know that these children exist.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
And they are to not let him know that they exist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And again, they are not loved, and they need to be silent and control themselves, and don't speak unless I ask you a question.
Right.
That's what she says.
Yes. I think we could get to a pretty pivotal part of this movie right now when the mom sees her father after a long time away.
After a long time away, yeah. She undresses for him to be whipped in front of him. The whip is being carried in a doctor bag? How about that?
Doctor bag by her mother. She takes the whip out and closes the doctor bag. And as a viewer, I was kind of like, oh, I want to see what else is in the doctor bag. Like furry handcuffs, maybe? I don't know where this is going, but I want to see what else you have in there.
But I'm curious. Yeah. The kids are so excited every time their mom maybe is going to come, right? That when that door opens.
We as an audience don't know how long this has been at all. It could be 2 days later. It could be a month
2 hours.
later. Yeah. 2 hours. Yeah. I mean, those are fresh wounds, let's say.
Yes, when she comes back.
Yeah.
So she comes back, and the kids, this is when the grandmother picks them up, because they scream, and they're so excited to see their mom.
That's awesome.
And this is when the grandmother picks up the little girl, right, by her head.
Just the sides of her head, grabs her ears and her hair, I don't know, and lifts this kid right off the ground. And
then Perm Boy goes and bites the grandma on the foot, like a little wild animal.
Yeah, Perm Baby's the only one that does anything, because Christy Swanson and a grown man who is a son is there, and so is this mom. They don't do a thing.
No, they don't say anything. But finally, she does. She lets him go and makes Corinne show the kids the 17 lashes that she got.
Long Maybelline lashes.
For the 17, yes. Are they hers? Might be. For the 17 years, she was gone for 17 years.
Right.
So, and that's when she tells him, I'll give you food and shelter, but no kindness or love.
Right.
I'm going to start telling that to people. Like, all right, we'll have a conversation, and I'll give you my order, but I'm not going to give you any kindness or love, like in a restaurant.
So you're just saying this to waitresses?
Yeah. Exactly. That's where I'm going to start it out. I'll see how it goes from there.
I want to see the disappointment on their face when they're like, oh, really? No kindness and love? Why am I even doing this job?
I mean, I'll give you a big tip, though. Don't eat cookies with powdered sugar because it could be arsenic.
You never know what could be in there. The boy genius, boy detective, whoever this kid is, he's doing his homework. He's trying so hard.
I don't know where he gets those books. I don't know where he gets all those books that he's reading. Know.
I love when he's like, do you have headaches?
Oh, yeah, when he's questioning it.
Do you have headaches?
Yeah?
Sometimes.
Do you have sore and tender joints? Yeah.
Tender joints. I don't know what that means. Do you have numbness in your fingers? What does that mean? I think you may be jotting down notes.
Yeah, he's just jotting down. But it takes him till the kid dies to figure out it's a poisoning. Like, you were hot on the trail.
He has no idea what's going on.
No.
He's using a microscope from the 16th century, too. I don't know what he's doing with this thing. So their mom tells them, their mom's like, hey, listen, you guys got to stay here and it sucks. Like, this room is super boring. There isn't even pictures on the wall. It's the worst place ever. You got a bathroom with a nice tubby. I got to say, I was kind of into the tubby.
I'm sure you were into the tubby. It's a good-sized tubby. Nice window action with the tubby.
And their mother has a lot of experience with this, which should be troubling to these children because she goes, I have a secret attic. It's so awesome. You go into the closet, you remove a panel or whatever. There's a door, you go up. And she's like, listen, make it a great place so that your little brother and sisters, they don't go nuts or whatever.
Right. This could be their little haven.
So the two...
Apparently they get cleaning supplies at some point, too. I don't know who brings them that, because there's a little montage of them just cleaning up the attic.
I assume they're throwing fistfuls of cobwebs out those barred windows.
Yeah, so many cobwebs.
So the two little kids are asleep. The mom leaves and everything. And then we have Christy Swanson and her brother who are like, listen, let's talk about this attic. But first, we're a couple of sexy teens. Let's get undressed.
Let's just lay in bed together. Wear some short boxers, and I will wear a nightie, which is essentially what she wears to bed.
Yep. She's like, I'll strip down to a bra and put basically nothing on over top of this.
Yeah, I'll just put a very sheer nightgown on with a little lacy frill. It's adorable. Daddy used to like it.
Daddy used to like it. Oh, and you're wearing, gym shorts where your butt cheeks are hanging out? That's cool. This is great. I like it when she walks out of the bathroom and he's in bed and she's like, whoa, hey, those, maybe the little kids. He's like, I don't know. This is what we're doing now. And she's okay with it.
Yeah, they just lay down. I was waiting for some inappropriate things to happen between them. Thank goodness it doesn't.
I waited the whole movie thinking this is going to take the most dark and disturbing tone or turn.
Or like at the end, she's going to say, finally, I married Christopher. And
we adopted our own sister as our child.
And then Christopher had sex with her later. And it was wonderful.
Perm baby rose from the grave and didn't look much different. He still looked like a zombie, and we raised him as our own. So this is when we find out they are given a day's worth of food in the morning. They're just given piles of sandwiches and stuff, and they load up to go to the attic. And this is when I thought the movie was going to turn, because creepy Nurse Ratched comes in. She's like, hey, you kids! I know all about your attic thing, and I'm totally cool with it. Just don't let your grandfather find out. I was like, all right, okay. So now it's them against this old man. Can't wait to see where this goes. Nope.
I thought that they were gonna. She has a moment when but then I think she knew it was gonna happen when she goes, you're gonna take him to the hospital.
Oh, what?
Right to his grave.
She knows what's happening. Yes. They've used that before. Take this. We had a dinner party. Take her to the hospital, if you know what I mean.
The hospital. Don't worry, old Fidel's digging the grave out back. It'll be fine.
I got them all dug, all ready to go. Like, what if it rains? What if it rains, man? What are you doing?
What are you doing? You're a little too prepared.
He's so eager.
Now you gotta shoot one of those crazy St. Bernard dogs and have them go in
That's what I don't understand. What is with this long death plan? Like, if your whole plan is like, these kids, they gotta go, there's easier and quicker ways than to slowly poison them.
I thought that, like I said, in the attic, this is where they were gonna uncover some of the family secrets and have to piece them together. But instead, the attic has multiple mirrors, hats, clothes. They make a swing. They make a little dance studio out of it. Yeah. Christopher puts a little dance bar up there. They have...
How about how he looks at her when she's dancing the one time? I was like, oh, don't look at her that way, Christopher. Don't look up from your book when she's like got her leg over her head. I don't like this.
Let's just leave it. Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
The funny thing is that like you're talking about them discovering secrets. What other secrets are there? Like their grandmother's like, listen, your mom married her uncle. You kids are monsters. The end. Secrets done. Yeah, the end. Oh, we also whip people. So
yeah, exactly. So there. You have all of our dirty secrets aired out. No, I wanted to know like what made the grandma and the granddad so angry. But what made the grandmom so serious? Is it just because she carries that Bible and loves Jesus so much that she can't love her grandkids?
It is funny because we only get one scene, and it's so quick, where the grandmother's alone, and she's like kneeling in the hallway, praying.
Oh, yeah, when she's praying, yeah.
But that's it. Like, we never get these characters without other characters around. Like, we never get the grandmother and the grandfather together. We never get the grandmother alone, grandfather alone. It's always like... the kids are just around, so we have no idea what anyone's motivation is for any of this.
Eventually, the mom stops coming around.
and they don't go to school, right? Like the kids bring it up one time. One time, Christy Swanson's like, "Don't you want to go back to school at some point?" And that's when I was like, "Is this the summer? Is this all the summer?"
Maybe it might have started from the summer.
I don't know.
I don't know if there were some clues and indicators that I missed, but they do. The kids miss mostly playing outside. Understandably so.
But they do miss sunlight, and that's when they all become vampire zombies. I was like, "Oh, is this what no sunlight does to you?"
Circles.
Like, this seems much worse than no sunlight. We do find out that it is, but their mother, she's very busy, and she tells the kids multiple times. She's like, "Listen, here's the plan. I'm gonna win back my father's affection. It's gonna be great." Mm-hmm. He will leave me in the will, and when he dies, apparently she knows that he's on his way out. Right. We get the whole place. It's awesome. So don't worry about it. And every now and then, we just get these snippets of her. Like one time, she's playing piano to him. Yeah. Just like, I'm sorry for marrying your brother, I guess, but here's a beautiful sonata for you.
Let me just play this for you. Right. Yeah. Isn't she reading to him another time?
She reads to him and holds his hand, and he's got like those old man long fingernails, which are all creepy.
Yeah, so she's just trying to make nice, and always, like you said, she's gone for a while. The kids miss her, but then she comes back. Now, more and more, Christy Swanson, is getting more like, I don't know, why is Mom being weird? She's changing. Didn't you see it? And the brother, Christopher, is like, oh no, we need to be supportive of Mom. This is called, I think he even tells when the little kids are complaining that they want to go on the playground, I think he says something to the effect like, we have to sacrifice right now. This is part of that. And Mom is doing this to make our lives better.
This is right after the kid makes a snail out of paper. Little perm baby makes a snail out of paper, and Christy Swanson's like, "No, it looks really good. The feelers are kind of good." And this kid who's suddenly a nerd, like he looks up from a book, he's like, "They're called antennae." It's like, what's happening?
Yeah,
I like how the kids are like, "Where's the grass?" Like the little kids are going, "Where's the grass?" And Christy Swanson is like, "The grass." Oh, the grass all went up to heaven. Remember how Dad used to like to mow the lawn all the time?
Yeah,
I was like, all the time.
He's just mowing the lawn up in heaven. That's all Dad's doing.
He's doing his favorite thing. Remember how he hated all of us and loved mowing the lawn? That's what he's doing now. And also, you're right in that the brother, he defends the mother and also gets to a point where he's afraid that she's also being locked up.
Yes, yeah.
Same as they are.
He thinks he's being held against her will. Right. So then he decides, well, before this is when the grandma comes in and breaks, I don't know why, but she's very angry with the kids.
Because they're in bed together.
Oh, yeah, because they're, didn't I tell you? Another time she walks in, she's like, why are you still in your night clothes?
It's like, why get dressed? We don't have to go anywhere.
Exactly.
It's like my kids here on a Saturday.
For?
They're like, why would I get dressed, Dad? Like, all right, you know what? You got me.
You got to win there. You got to win.
It's cold outside. I don't want to go anywhere. Why should you?
No dressing for me. As a matter of fact, no pants for anybody. I don't know.
Nurse Ratched would not. She would not.
No. No. She needs you to.
You need layers of pants on in this household.
Yeah. We see barely any skin on Nurse Ratched besides on her face and her hands.
Right.
Yeah. This is when she breaks the precious little porcelain ballerina that was a gift from the dad. And it's another blood-curdling scream we get from Christy Swanson. And that's when the brother decides or says something to the effect of like, I think we're being held captive and so is Mom, so they want to bust out. Now it's time to break the bars of the window, which doesn't work.
This is when the movie to me just started dragging, and I was like, what is this whole thing that, you know what? I have a mile of rope and there's knots every 3 feet because I guess this is what I've been doing for the past month.
But there's no plan. There's no plan. What are they going to do? And they climb out both times they try to escape. They don't bring the little ones with them. I was like, where are you going without the little one?
Yeah.
If you get out, what are you doing?
That's what I didn't understand. I was like, what do you think is going to happen? At least if one of you is gone, the other older one could be like, oh, yeah, he's upstairs fucking around in the attic or whatever. But these little kids will be like, what's happening? Nurse Ratched.
And now you've left them.
The older kids are gone. Yeah. There's no plan. There's dogs on the property, too. There's floodlights everywhere. It's so stupid and comes to nothing. They basically get to a point where they realize they can't escape.
No, because it's not like the first escape. Then the grandmother finds out and punishes them more. Or, you know what I mean? Like how, well, now they were found out. Did you at any point, maybe when you saw the granddad, were you wishing that one of the disorderlies would come and help the granddad, maybe take him roller skating and give him a new lease on life?
There were so many times. I wanted the disorderlies to rescue the grandfather. I wanted the disorderlies to also murder the guard dogs. Like, I wanted the disorderlies all over this movie. They would have made it so much more fun.
I agree.
The disorderlies to break these. Wouldn't it be great? Halfway through this movie, the door gets kicked open. It's the disorderlies, and they take these kids roller skating. I would love to see that.
Yes. And then we get to see little perm baby on skates.
He would be too weak, but they'd put him in a wheelchair and a hooker would sit on his lap. It would be great. But later on, when these kids removed the hinges from the door to escape, I was like, why wasn't this your first plan? What? Yeah. Because this house is crawling with old people. They should be able to just
one's
walk
running after you.
Out the front door.
No one's chasing you. I hadn't seen anybody with a weapon like a gun or anything. Well, no. I think the guy...
Fidel has a gun.
Yeah.
But he's living in like a separate cabin. You could make it out of here very easily.
Yeah.
That's what I never understood about them. Like, let's sneak out of our room and then stealthily sneak back in. I was like, why? Just walk out the front door and leave this forever. So the mom later, she's been gone for a very long time. And she returns. She is dressed to the nines.
Oh, yeah.
She's got a nice dress on. Is this after the grandmother doesn't feed them for a week too?
No, I don't think.
I think that was. I think it was after they were in bed together that she flips out.
Oh, that the grandmother stopped feeding them. Okay.
Because now when the mom returns, they all look like zombies, and she does not seem to notice.
No, she doesn't care. She looks great. Her face. And is that when Christy Swanson's like, "Look at us and look at you. You have rosy cheeks, and we look horrible."
Right. Yes.
We know because there's a mirror in the bathroom, and there's 17 mirrors upstairs in the attic.
17 mirrors. That haircut later. That haircut.
Oh my God. You know, they could have given her like a badass Billie Jean haircut. And they give her this crazy chopped up
when the grandmother was cutting her hair, I was like, okay, I need a Billie Jean reveal here.
Yes.
And suddenly I was like, what kind of wig did they put on Christy Swanson?
No. I do like when the mom sees it. She's like, oh, it's a good choice for you.
That's a smart choice. And I was like, because of the lice up here, probably?
Yeah, right.
So this is when the mom's like, listen, kids, don't ruin this long con I got going. It's pretty great. We'll wait till he dies and everything will be fine. Oh, in the meantime, Perm Baby befriends a mouse upstairs.
Oh, is that when he finds the mouse?
And I was just like, this is gross. Get that kid away from that mouse. The thing probably has diseases. And the bars have also been removed from the attic window by the grandmother, I guess, because she trusts them that they can't escape from the roof.
That they're not going right. Oh, well, Christopher is still believing that the mom's being brainwashed, right? Because the grandmother comes in for something, maybe to deliver, I don't know what. And
Is this the second bath scene where the grandmother creeps up
I
behind him?
I went, yes, because I wrote, Christy loves a bath.
She does.
This is the one where she's just checking out her legs and missing dancing. Christopher's not sitting in there. Oh, no, Christopher is sitting in there with her. Isn't he? I don't know. The grandmother
he's at the door. I mean, he's watching her. It's not.
He's not rubbing her back like in the other
not like
earlier.
Yeah. But this is, every now and then we get Christy voiceovers, and she's like, the only place I could go was the bath where I could think about dancing and be alone with my thoughts.
Mm-hmm. And my dancer's legs, I guess.
My brother used to watch me bathe. That's not weird, right?
Oh. But yeah, he yells, I forget what he yells at her, but he yells at the grandma basically.
Yeah, we laugh at you. We laugh at you. And I was just like ready to go, ha 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 ha, we laugh at you. And he doesn't, and I was really sad.
You wanted him to? That would have been great. Ha ha, grandma. Ha ha.
Ha ha, grandma. We all laugh at you. Ha 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 ha.
And the little kid cages his pet mouse.
Yes. How about when Perm Baby gets lost? Because he's up in the attic.
But he's really just asleep with his mouse.
They yell Corey 1,000,000 times in this scene.
Yeah. He's a deep sleeper. He's a deep sleeper.
But this is when they're looking for Corey. This is after they find him asleep.
When she gets the haircut.
Yes, because Christy Swanson's the first one down the steps, and the grandmother closes the closet door and locks it, and then slaps the shit out of Christy Swanson.
Screaming for her, right?
Yes, and then cuts her hair, and this is when she stops feeding because they suddenly look like zombies.
This is when the food doesn't come.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and this is when Christopher is fixing the dancing. He's fixing the dance
bar
porcelain thing. No, the porcelain thing.
Oh yeah, he does fix that. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, but we also see that her mother is a woman of the South now, and the family is going to have a debutante ball for her.
Oh, that's
and
right.
She's got a lot of male callers coming around these parts, and it's like, what kind of weird Gone with the Wind movie have we suddenly entered? This woman is in her mid-40s, and they're like, honey, let's throw you a coming out party. It's going to be great.
We're going to Dad buys her a dress. And this, because this is when they're like, look at us. We're pale and we're weak and you're rosy cheeked and wearing new dresses. We have no food. Right. And she's like, just a little longer, kids, and we'll be richer than anything.
Well, why are you talking with a Southern accent all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about it, honey. That's not a Southern accent.
No, well, that's okay.
It's like a British accent, but it wasn't even a good one. But also in this scene, so Perm Baby is not doing well. Like he's fading fast. I don't know if it's the time with the mouse or what it is, but so the older brother, and I need to know what you thought was happening because the older brother he gets
I didn't know
he gets a razor blade. And he's like, this kid's in deep shit. So the brother cuts his own wrist. And I was like, this kid's going to give this baby a blood transfusion? I can't even believe it. Nope. He feeds him like he's a baby vampire. And I was like, what are you doing? That is not healthy. That's not nutritious.
Maybe boil up the mouse. Maybe that's better.
I was waiting for them to feed this kid the mouse or something, anything. The mouse survived the whole time. I mean, until the end. But they weren't getting fed. Where was this mouse getting food from? Find that out.
Exactly. Find that. Eat the crumbs. Feeding the kid blood?
I really thought he was going to give this kid a blood transfusion. I was like, this kid learned a lot about medicine.
I thought, too. I thought he's doing something fancy there to, like... Yeah, but no, he's just feeding him blood from his own elbow.
No, it's just and he's there talking casually to Christy Swanson while his brother feeds on his blood.
Yep.
It's so gross.
Yep.
And also really stupid.
Yeah, and I don't know that gave him any more time than he would have had before.
No, that may have made things worse.
Yeah. Now this is when they decide that they're going to sneak out, the two. They're going to do it again, and they're going to,
They take the door off the hinges,
and this
finally,
is when they find the mom's room, and they realize she has all these fancy clothes and this big, beautiful bed, and
I love how Christopher's like, whoa, let's not jump to conclusions.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a rational explanation.
Yeah, he keeps saying, I'm sure there's a reason for this. She's like, Mom gets to wear a new outfit every half day and has a big, beautiful bed all her own, and we have to share a room upstairs and not even... You just fed our baby brother blood.
Your blood. You're getting more pale now because of it.
Right. And then they go and they stumble upon the grandfather who is asleep. And I don't quite understand why they don't know if he's dead. They're like, is he dead already? Because he's like really older and he's asleep in his bed. And they get very, very close to his face.
They check him like the disorderlies would check him.
Yeah. And then he wakes up and he puts them both in a headlock.
I know, a powerful old man headlock that they are unable to escape from.
And I think he whispers, I always loved you the best, Corinne.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which makes me think, like, wait, does she have siblings? Because we don't hear anything about that.
Right? Which one? And then, wait, who did the what? And then they run off, they scream, and they go back to their room, basically, and they hide. We're back in the bathroom. Because, again, there's only so many rooms they have access to.
This is when Perm Baby has to throw up, and I'm like, well,
yeah.
no shit. You can't feed a kid blood.
Christopher, I think I'm going to throw up.
And suddenly, because of this commotion, I guess, they get food again. Oh, yes. So much food. This is great. Yeah. And this is when Boy Doctor is trying to diagnose Perm Baby.
Yeah, he asks all the questions about,
This is when the mother shows up, and now she's loony. Like, now,
if
there's been any question, she's all out of her mind. Like, they're gonna throw me a party. It's gonna be so great. I got my father's approval again. I'm in the will. Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, you guys, and they're like, they yell at her. They're like, Mom, look at Krista, curly hair, mop head over here is dying. Look at us. We're a mess.
Look at your son, Mophead. Maybe you've forgotten his real name, because I have. I've just been calling him Perm Baby since we showed up here. So the mother gets all enraged, though, and I love how she's like, when you're ready to treat me with love, then I will be back. And that's it.
But until then, I have a party to go to.
So the two older kids start sneaking through the air ducts, and they watch a party that looks like it was thrown 150 years ago.
Yeah, it's terrible. It doesn't look like any kind of a shindig I'd like to
They're all in hoop skirts, and guys have like big handlebar mustaches. It looks like they're back from the Civil War to party, and they see their mother get engaged to some guy who we later find out is named Bart.
Bart. Yep. They dance. They exchange a ring.
Yeah.
And now they're devastated. Now even Christopher is like, oh my God, I can't. He's crying. And I
gotta tell you, Christopher is pretty much responsible for Perm Baby dying and everything else. Because if he would have just come to his senses earlier,
yeah.
Yes,
quicker action here, guys. Yeah. Let's not pussyfoot around this. Right. Your mom is crazy, and you're all being trapped in this crazy house. Get out. Listen to Christy Swanson.
The moment you have to cut your wrist to feed your brother, you have to. You should have
found the exit. Yeah, you should have found the exit. Yeah, somebody make nice with the butler. There's always a way to win over the butler. You guys don't even try. Yeah.
There's 3 people in this house, and the house is like a square mile. You could wander. You could sashay out the front door and not see a single person until you hit the road.
And I love it when they decide to. Well, we'll get there. Hold on. We'll get there.
Okay.
When they walk down the aisle, completely, nobody notices until they're like right there behind the mom.
I like how when they're like, hello, mother, and all the extras are like, oh my, what is happening here?
Like they didn't just slowly waltz down the aisle.
Who are these ghosts that just showed up here?
Right.
So this is when the kids freak out and they're like, listen, Perm Baby's dying, get him to a hospital. Yeah. And finally the grandmother says to the butler, pick that kid up, take him to the hospital.
Well, right before that, there's the slap scene where the mom slaps Kathy, and then Kathy slaps the mom back.
Yep, Mom and Christy Swanson slap fight. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah. And then we're taking him to the, air quotes, hospital because he's so sick.
Right.
And she returns, and she doesn't have any response. That's why Christy Swanson slaps her, is because when they say, like, look how sick he is, she's just like, huh, well. She has more of a response to the haircut than she does.
Right. She's like, that looks fantastic. Oh, that kid's dead? Well, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But she does show up and she's like, her baby had pneumonia. The doctors did all they could. And then it's revealed Fidel Castro's out there filling in one grave. There's three more sitting there.
3 more left. Yep.
And as if that's not sad enough, suddenly the mouse dies too.
Fred's dead. Fred the mouse has died. But Fred's death leads them to the epic clue that helps Christopher realize what's been going on the whole time. Because in Fred's cage is a little bit of a cookie.
A little bit of a powdered sugar cookie.
Actually, it's a big piece of a cookie for
a
mouse, I feel like.
It's huge. And it looks like Fred just licked all the powdered sugar off of it, too. Which then, because when, when, whatever his name is, who's the kid? Christopher. When he's like,
Christopher,
there's arsenic in the powdered sugar. I'm like, how do you know it's in the powdered sugar, kid? It could be in it could be in the orange juice. Where are you getting this from?
Well, because you do see them shake it on there. Mom does it specifically.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The mom is getting ready to marry another dude named Bart.
Yep.
Perhaps her estranged uncle? Who knows? Maybe.
We don't know.
Don't know.
Perhaps a distant relative of some kind. We don't know. And the kids, Chris finally decides they're going to leave.
Yeah.
The plan is to grab the cash or some of Grandma's fancy rings that she wears.
Yep.
Something.
It's a whole
and we're
looting
take
situation.
Some stuff. Yeah, exactly. We're going to take this stuff and then we're going to be free. We don't have a plan beyond that. It's just freedom is what we seek. And Christopher sneaks down. That's his plan, is that he's going to get some of the cash and the rings, and then they'll leave the next day. And when he sneaks down, he sees like the pre-night to the wedding where Bart's trying to make the moves on his mom, and now he's like, this sets him over the edge. And
again, you're already over the edge, Chris.
Yeah.
What does this do? This does nothing.
I think it confirms it all. It just lets him know that there's no.
I guess it was kind of pointless for that little scene to be in there. Like, you could have just cut to wedding day. You don't need this.
Yeah, we didn't need the extra escalation, right? We already knew he was pushed to the edge. The brother's dead. We don't. Yeah. But so then we don't quite know the plan. The grandmother comes upstairs to give the kids something or tell them something.
Probably like, shut your mouths. It's wedding day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's an event here, and we really need you not to even make a sound. But they just take her down.
They take her down just like a gut shot with a giant pepper mill, and then whack her in the face, and she is out of the movie. Like,
We're
the major villain out of the movie.
Yeah, no, and we don't even really get to see, like, again, we've watched so many of these horror movies. There should have been some sort of struggle where her twisted, fucked up face comes back and tries to grab at one of the kids, and now we're like, no.
Yeah, why not? Like, there's a struggle, and they pull her dress, and it reveals, like, a ton of scars on her back.
Yeah, like she's been beaten and all that, yeah.
Do something here.
No, she's just gone, and the mom is waiting to get married, and they're all waiting for the mother, the Nurse Ratched mom, to arrive, and she's like, well, it's my wedding, and I'm not waiting any longer for her. She's going to try and ruin this for me.
Like, it's not like she went out. She's upstairs. You could go check on her.
Yeah, nobody went to see where she is.
Right. It's not like she went to the store and just hasn't come back yet. We don't know.
No, they're just like, she knows it's happening. Where is she? She's not here. All right.
She knows what time we're getting married. She's right upstairs. I don't know.
Right.
Whatever.
She knows the time. We have the will. We have the invitation.
Yeah.
We have all the necessary documents laid out right there. For the kids to find, for the grandma to review, whatever.
So this is when the kids find this sort of room full of evidence. And I love how this is the other thing that was confusing, because the oldest boy, he stumbled upon the mother and Bart like making out or whatever. And she's like, we're going to be married tomorrow. Don't worry. They pick up this wedding invitation, and Christy Swanson's like, oh my God, they're getting married. This day is today's date. I'm like, well, no shit. He knew
What do you think's happening?
I'm sure he told you.
Right.
But they do find the will, and the whole thing about the will is written into the will, which sounds insane.
In the very beginning, yeah.
Yeah. The first line of the will, I assume, is if it is revealed that she has children from her previous marriage, she gets nothing.
Right. This is annulled.
Yep. The kids are like, got her. Let's go.
Oh, well, because before that, before they find the room of information, they go to tell the grandfather, remember? Because he's like, let's just get out of here. And Christy Swanson's like, no, we should tell the grandfather.
Yeah.
You know, we can't let mom get away with this. And then they go in the grandfather's room and realize that he's already gone.
He's
and
totally
then they find
deadsies.
that paperwork. Yeah. Right. And then they find that paperwork. And now they're like, oh, we're going to fuck up this wedding big time. So did you feel bad for the flower girl in this wedding? Did you feel like maybe she was a little kid that auditioned and she had the wrong color hair?
Why the flower girl was so important in this scene. Why they show
I know,
her
because she's
so
giving
many
looks
times.
to the kids.
She's giving looks, but they're all bored looks. Like she clearly doesn't want to be there.
I feel like, is she Bart's kid from another marriage?
That's what I was kind of thinking too. But these ghosts, these zombies, these original wedding crashers come in here. And like you said, they wander up to the front. No one appears to notice that they're walking like they are ghosts.
Yeah.
And then they're like, Mother, what do you think? I love how Corinne's like, what? Who are you? Wait, this is, what? You're not
when
my
they're like,
kids.
Corey's dead. She's like, who's Corey? I don't know a Corey. What are you talking about?
Right. Who's Corey? Your dead son. I don't know. I like how she looks at Bart and she's like, I don't have kids.
Yeah. She's like, you're not going to believe them, are you? You can't believe. And he instantly is like, well, I don't know. You seem a little shady.
He backs. Every time we see him now, he just takes another step back. He's just backing slowly
He's like,
out of this room.
This cautiously. There's a lot of money in it if you marry her.
Yeah.
I don't care.
No.
He's like, I don't know. Their evidence, or they're like, you did this to us, Mom, is the dead mouse and the cookie.
The cookie. Christy Swanson tries to force feed her mother a cookie, and the fight goes outside.
Yeah.
And gets insane. The end of this movie is one of the dumbest things I think I've ever seen in a movie.
It's another one where, is this really how she's going to end it? She tumbles all over the balcony and pretty much hangs herself on like a little, what is that, like trellis thing?
Yeah.
Garden trellis?
She hangs herself by like her veil.
Yeah.
However that works, I don't think that's how veils work. I don't think they're tied around your neck.
No, it's actually just on her head, and you would think it would pop. Maybe she'd be scalped at the worst.
But I thought it was so funny how Christy Swanson's just trying to force feed her a cookie. She's like, They're not touching each other, and she just tumbles off a balcony.
She just tumbles. No, it's very delicate footing. She's got those boots on and everything. Who knows? And then they're finally free. So
they walk out the door into the sunlight. And now we get the longest voiceover of the thing where Christy Swanson's like, I had to work a long time to put my brother Chris through medical school. Our little sister, no name Susie, she grew up, but she still has a lot of health problems.
Yeah.
I even danced for a bit. I was like, what is this nonsense?
I know.
And that's it. That's how the movie ends.
I wanted there to be like, this was based on a true story. I know it's just a book, but I was kind of like...
Right? They did it in Fargo. It didn't mean anything. Just put it at the beginning. Who cares?
Just put it. We don't care. It'll make it a little more entertaining for my mind. So, yeah. Yeah, there you have it. Flowers in the Attic.
If you really quickly, before we get to our final judgments, if you look around online, Jamie, you can find the original ending to this.
Oh, yeah.
And the original ending, okay, they're trying to escape. Mm-hmm. And Fidel Castro, threatens them with a drill. Like, he comes at them with a drill.
Oh.
They fight him, and he, like, falls off a balcony, much like the mother, and he dies.
So they kill Fidel.
Yeah. The grandfather, not dead. He's at the wedding in a wheelchair. They basically just confront the mom, tell her all this bullshit, and then walk out the door. And at the last minute... the grandmother tries to stab them with a knife, and the butler takes her down and tells the kids to leave.
What?
Yes. And the voiceover at the end is a lot shorter, and it's just Christy Swanson going, "We promised never to look back, and so long as we did, we knew we'd be fine." That's it.
Huh.
But apparently that ending is more like it was in the book, but the director didn't think the mother should live, so they made that whole new ending where she died.
But the Fidel Castro should die.
Fidel Castro should die. A bigger part for him.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'd like it if the butler would have saved them and been like, "This bitch is crazy. You guys get out of here. I've had to suffer all these years."
I would have liked for them to go, "Wait, but did you murder our little brother?"
Yeah, exactly.
You were the last one he was seen with.
Are you another uncle? Yeah, exactly. Where did you put him?
Yeah. So, Jamie, what did you think? Your final thoughts on this movie?
Meh.
I think that's fair. No, I think it's a big meh. I'm glad that I finally saw it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I finally sort of got an idea of what
it was all
those girls
about.
in high school were reading.
Yeah.
But no, it was very underwhelming. Like, I really thought it was going to be more disturbing or just better. It was a big bunch of meh.
That's it.
That's all we got
for Flowers in the Attic.
That's
our What's your recommendation? Is it a Nurse Ratched movie?
No, I'm going to recommend a very recent movie. So, Parasite is the South Korean movie that just won Best Picture. First foreign film to ever win Best Picture.
Amazing.
And I don't want to spoil anything about it, but I will say it's about a very wealthy family and then a poor family who kind of cons their way into working for the wealthy family. And if that was all the movie was, it still would have been great. But it's a pretty crazy movie that has some parallels to this movie. So if you want to watch Flowers in the Attic, don't watch this.
With subtitles.
Watch Parasite, right?
All right.
I heard I should watch Parasite instead. You should do that.
You should.
It's really good. It's an excellent movie. And don't
you said it was.
Don't let the subtitles keep you away. You can follow along. All right.
What
about you?
Awesome. I too have a recent movie to recommend, and it also is recently won some awards. It was that movie Jojo Rabbit.
Okay.
It's also based on a book. Did you see it yet? Have you seen it?
I did see it, yes.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I did like it, yeah.
Well, it has
super fun.
It has some similarities. There's a Jewish girl in the attic instead of children in the attic. There's, I don't want to give much away, but a mother gets hung.
Yep.
And it's a little more uplifting at points, but then not, because it's about a young boy in Nazi Germany at the end of World War II.
Right.
So as uplifting as a movie about that time period can be, it was a lot of fun. And when I didn't realize it when I watched it, but then when I looked it up, I saw it was also based on a book called Caging Skies.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. I was also going to recommend, I had so many recommendations. I was going to recommend Knives Out, which is also very good, and it's a fun little sort of gothic whodunit. Not exactly like this, but it's a big house, and and I was going to recommend also people that were as interested in the fact that Wes Craven was going to direct this as I was.
Oh yeah.
I would point people to Wes Craven's People Under the Stairs movie, which after I saw this, I went, I think Wes Craven was like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna make my own.
I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I'm not gonna put them in the attic. I'm gonna put them under the stairs.
I'm gonna put them under the stairs, and I'm gonna do a whole lot of weird incest shit." So, if you're interested in that, check it out. It's a great movie.
All right, I like it. So we got like 2 extra bonus recommendations.
Oh, we got so many. Yeah, I
great.
rarely give more than one. You always give multiples. I rarely give more than one.
And for multiple outlets. Not just movies.
And a lot of recent movies, too. Guys, we did a great job.
Yeah.
Guys,
we did a great job. I don't know if you guys are aware.
We did a great job.
We nailed it. We just nailed this one.
I'm not sure if you understood what you just heard, but you should be pretty impressed.
Yeah.
So, first of all, in about a week and a half, if you're listening to this in real time on our Patreon on April 1st, we will be talking about Who's Harry Crumb.
Who is he?
our second John Candy movie, and I think it's our second Patreon John Candy movie. I don't think we've done a John Candy that is not behind a paywall.
Oh, well, that's because he's the kind of guy you gotta pay.
So what we're gonna do?
So who's Harry Crumb?
Who's Harry Crumb? Yes, check out. Go to patreon.com/goodtimesgreatmovies. Check out Who's Harry Crumb. Check out, what was the other John Candy movie we did?
Great Outdoors.
Great Outdoors. Oh, we have so much stuff. Too many things to count. What, like 20 episodes? I cannot count to 20.
Yeah, he can't. He could count the candles on the cake, but he can't count to 20.
Like 36. He's 36. Christy Swanson, this is inappropriate. You are underage.
He is your father. And your uncle, apparently.
In 2 weeks, it is National Road Trip Week, Jamie. And what we're going to do, we're going to... Now, we have covered some movies made for children in the past. I'm thinking about almost all of your birthday choices. I think right now, the film that we covered that skewed the youngest was probably The Hug-a-Bunch. But even that dealt with an old woman being sent to a retirement community. So I think we're going to beat that in 2 weeks. And we are going to discuss a movie that is made for practically babies. And it is the Sesame Street movie.
Yeah.
Follow That Bird.
Follow that bird. Follow those orange legs.
Follow those big orange legs where Big Bird, I don't know, runs away from Sesame Street because he feels unappreciated or something. I'm not sure what the plot is.
Bird family. He goes to find his little
is that what's
family.
happening? Okay.
I think so.
All right. Well, you know what? You know more about it than I do. So we are going to tackle a kids movie, and it hopefully won't be as gross as this.
Oh, I hope there's no incest involved in Big Bird's family line.
But it's
but I don't know. It's birds.
It's what's going to be on my mind, though, while I'm watching this now.
You're like, is that his cousin or is that his uncle?
Big Bird. Why are you making out with other birds? Why are we watching this?
Birds can't make out, can they? Don't they beak or ruffle feathers? What do they do for intimacy?
Beak?
Yeah, beacon.
I don't
they
know
have
what
those giant beaks.
Where are you putting that beak? What are we talking about?
I mean,
here? What a beak.
I don't know. Maybe the movie, maybe Follow That Bird can
maybe it'll explain it for you. It'll be like, listen, here's how birds become intimate with. I would love how that's how it opens. It's Christy Swanson as an old woman doing a voiceover about birds mating rituals at the beginning of Follow That Bird.
So
but that is what
we're turned on. Yeah.
That is what we're going to be talking about in 2 weeks' time.
That's right.
So tune in 2 weeks when we talk about Follow That Bird. And watch it in the meantime. All right. Okay, we'll see you. Okay, bye.
Bye. An older brother. I've never really taken a bath while he's had rubbed my back before.
No, never. No, when you were like 17.
No.